Hey, what's going on? This is Ed Fletcher, and I'm about race and stuff in the wake of the Justice for George Floyd incident. In addition to going to protests, I started sharing little videos like this about the incidents of today and trying to break down some of what's happening in society for my friends and friends of my friends, so forth and so on. I didn't really have a game plan for what we're doing here. We're just kind of on a walk with my dog Darla. I do make up a game plan. I write on my arm what I want to talk about, but overall I didn't really have a overarching game plan. I kind of went into this with the Maury Mock school of thought of, if you want to establish yourself on a beat, just start writing stories, as opposed to trying to figure out what your thesis statement is before you start going. Anyway, some filmmaker friends of mine, one new, one old, or new to me, old to me, decided they wanted to turn these little vignettes into a mini documentary. So we have that going as well. So it's kind of exciting, and the goal, I guess, is to take the best of these and the protest, as well as a couple interviews with me talking about background or sort of how I came to this. So that's exciting, and looking forward to seeing how that comes out. And I'm grateful that these allies and other people in the cause decided that that's how they want to help share the message. And going back to the Maury Mock philosophy here, eat, sleep, protest, justice, repeat. Let's not get too caught up in the overarching game plan. We just need to take action every day. That doesn't mean that's action without thought, but we just need to make sure that we keep the pressure going. Hey, Maury's on. I just quoted you, Maury. What's going down? All right, so my theme of the day was hate dies hard, and what to do when there's a racist friend in your network. And this was sort of spurred on by what's happening with NASCAR. And I'm sure a lot of you don't follow NASCAR, American auto racing, but weeks ago, Bubba Wallace, the one black race car driver at the highest level, spoke out and asked that they ban the Confederate flag at NASCAR events. NASCAR, which had been edging in this direction, stepped up to the plate and banned the Confederate flag at NASCAR events. And as one might expect, there's been some pushback. And this week in Alabama, Talladega, a noose was found hanging in the, I guess, equipment area, vehicle area for the black driver. And I think everybody knows about the noose, but maybe we have to be explicit. But for decades in the South, white men used a noose, a very specific knot tied to hang black men. The properly tied noose has 13 loops around the knot, and it's a very sturdy knot. It was one of those things that was taboo in the Boy Scouts, and you were not allowed to teach somebody else to tie a noose. But of course, somehow we all learned to tie a noose. But it's a very powerful and oppressive symbol. And regardless of how well you think you have adjusted to this world, if you're a black man, the sight of a noose or somebody putting a noose like that into your world can be deeply, deeply traumatizing. I wrote a story about Sacramento County some years ago where a noose was found in a one of the waste management areas. We never really got to the bottom of what happened with that case, but it does occur to me that I would like to do a public records request and look for all of the allegations of nooses or racist symbols used in Sacramento County. Just try to get a beat on what's happening both there and in the city. If anybody wants to join with me on that project, let me know. We'll get a public records request out there. We'll get some emails, and we'll see how many times things like this have been alleged that we're just not hearing about. The other thing about hate dying hard and getting back to NASCAR is that, in a way, pushback was expected, because it took decades and decades of training and belief structuring for them to accept so ingrained in their psyche that they're better than other people, and that what would seem natural to most people is unnatural to them. But for too long, we've let racists in our families and in our lives and in our networks have their say without being challenged or being called to explain themselves. And maybe a week or two ago, I posted the comment, "Make racists uncomfortable." And I think that really needs to be the mission statement of this era, that rather than us being quiet or shrieking away, we and our allies need to speak up. So when you find a racist in your Facebook feed, you need to call them to task. And it doesn't necessarily have to be publicly on their page, but you have to at least let them know that you're leaving, and this is why you're leaving, and this is why you're disappointed. And I think as personal and as authentic an explanation that you can offer, the better. So we don't want them to just, oh, I had 1,000 friends and now I have 950. I wonder why. I think you need to make it clear why, and make it sting, make it hurt, make it real to them that their behavior, their comments, their way of thinking is antiquated and unacceptable, and that you're separating yourself from them because of this fact. And I think the more that people rise to that challenge and make racists uncomfortable, the sooner we can turn the tide, and we will be in the clear majority, and we can make some progress towards a America that lives up to its ideals. The other thing I wanted to mention was the role the internet is playing in this, and I can't name one K-pop band, but somehow they all decided to encourage people to buy tickets to the Tulsa rally. And I think that for some odd reasons in 2016, the Trump administration had the internet advantage, but I think we're showing in 2020 that the young people are going to show these old people a thing or two. So I'm gonna cut it off here, but I want to encourage you to both continue your civil disobedience, continue to find ways to protest that you find appropriate, get involved in the political process, and make racists uncomfortable. Tell them why you're defriending them. Let them know that their actions, their comments, their behavior is unacceptable. Thanks for watching. This is Ed Fletcher. Talk to you later.